we're going to talk about drop spindles and if and when you might need them. There's usually two reasons why that you'll need drop spindles on your race car. First off will be if your car is working well and you just want to fix the ride height a little bit. You put a 2-inch drop spindle on there, it's going to just drop the front of the car 2 inches. All we're doing is moving the wheel up. That's it. Second reason, and this is more important, is the installed height of your shock. If you've gone to the point of trying to get as much travel as you can out of the front end, a lot of people end up getting almost no compression in their shock. So to fix that, you go to a drop spindle. That will lower the car a little bit too far, but then you can raise it back up with your coilover adjustments. Now we're going to get into measuring the shocks for the correct install height. All right, now let's talk about some shock install height. Go out to your race car, you look under it, first thing you see is the adjuster nut way low like this. Probably means you're in the danger zone. That's usually a dead indicator that you are sitting at a either fully collapsed or nearly fully collapsed shock. A lot of times they'll be sitting on the bump rubbers just like this. Normally on these shocks on a double A-arm car, we're going to want to see about 1.5 inches of shaft showing at ride height. On a Mustang or anything with a strut, we're usually looking 2, maybe 2.5 inches. On this shock, it's a 4-inch stroke shock. If we measure it here, you can see we got 4 inches of travel here. We're trying to keep it within that upper 1.5 inches of shaft showing just to make sure that you don't wreck parts when you come down from a wheelie. If you go out and you look and you're like, oh yeah, my adjuster nut's right here in the middle or towards the top end of it, you're probably in the clear as far as damage goes, but you still want to verify the actual installed height of the shock.
All right, before we verify everything Mike said on an actual race car, or frame in this case, I just want to reiterate what a drop spindle is. This is a stock height spindle. This is a 2-inch drop spindle. You will notice if I lay them side by side, the pin height for the spindle is literally 2 inches higher than the pin height on the stock height spindle. All this does is raise the wheel in the wheel well by 2 inches. It affects nothing else, so just keep that in mind. Now we're going to go over here and talk about this side of the frame. You'll see this has our welded front upper coilover mount. This version of an upper coilover mount will make it really easy to verify the install height of the shock. You can physically just look there and see that this one has roughly 1.5 inches. Real easy to verify, real easy to measure. The problem is we make a lot of these parts to work with the stock upper shock mount as well, which you can't see or verify the install height of the shock just by the naked eye. So we're going to readjust and move over to the more stock side of this frame. Take a look at that. All right, so we're going to move over to a more stock section of the frame. This is an unmodified stock upper shock mount as it came from GM. We're rolling a picture, but from where I'm standing, you really can't visually see the shock shaft or how much of it's exposed at raceway ride height. And again, in a double A-arm setup, we're looking for roughly 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches of the shock shaft exposed at raceway ride height. In a Mustang with like a strut front end or just strut front ends in general, closer to a little bit more than that. When it comes to measuring this, we like to take a measurement from the bottom of the shock mount itself there, to the underside of the frame. You'll have to do some math. You'll also have to reach out to the shock or strut manufacturer, figure out the fully compressed number so you know where your shock bottoms out. That tells you where you need to be to make sure that you have that 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches, 2 or more on a strut front end. And just to reiterate why this is so important, if you're riding around with your shocks on the bumper, you could bend the frame, you could break the shock, you could break the control arm, crash the car, you could get hurt yourself. So it's very important that you don't skip over anything in this video. But with that being said, if you have any questions about anything we said here, comments, concerns, whatever, give us a call, shoot us a DM, send us an email. We'll be happy to talk more about it.